Hey, what's going on guys? Today we're going to be talking about the Ring stick-up cam, so stay tuned. Hey, what's going on guys? Today we're talking about the Ring stick-up cam battery. The reason I went with the battery is because I'm going to be putting this one above my front door and I don't have a plug that's close by. The closest one's about 15 feet. I don't want to be running power cables up along the side of the house and that's just going to look ugly for me, so I went with the battery version. They also have a wired version and you can connect a solar panel if you want it to be completely self-sufficient and don't want to have to worry about charging this guy up. So with that said, let's start talking about the camera and what it is, what it comes with, what are some of the options. All right, so this camera is pretty self-sustaining. Not a whole lot comes with it. It's connected to its mount slash stand, so there's not a whole lot of accessories to go along with this guy, which is a good thing. You're not having to dump a bunch of extra money into it after the fact. So I took a look, and the only accessory that Ring offers right now is the solar panel, and that is only going to be compatible with the battery version because it'll be charging up that battery. If you buy the wired version, you can not use the solar panel because at nighttime, you're not gonna be able to use it since there's no built-in battery with that. So this camera does come in two colors. It comes in black and white. I want the black version because I'm gonna be putting mine outside under the eaves. It's a dark brown up there, so it works perfect for that, but it also does come in white. White's gonna be more for indoor use, but it's nice to have the option. All right, moving on, let's take a look at the box and see what this camera has. If we take a look at the front, we see that it has 1080p HD video with two-way talk. It has motion detection, which is pretty standard nowadays. This one being the battery, comes with the quick release battery pack, and it is Wi-Fi connected, which is obvious being a wireless camera. Flip it around to the back side, we can take a look at the picture up here. It shows the three different mounting positions. So you got ceiling, wall, and just sitting it on a tabletop there. So highlighting a few more things on the back of the box, it does come with night vision. You can adjust your motion sensors. It has a 115-degree field of view, and it does come with 30 days of the Ring Protect plan, which we will go into more detail later in this video. All right, now let's take a look at all the hardware in the box. All right, guys, you know I don't like traditional unboxing, so let's open this guy up and see what comes in the box. All right, so here is what comes inside the box. We have the orange power cable that's used for charging the battery here. We've got a bag of screws that has security screws for the base cover, mounting screws to attach to the wall, and then also anchor screws if you're going to be going into stucco or brick. We have the drill bit here for those wall anchors for going into stucco or brick. Next, we have the screwdriver that has a Phillips head, or if you reverse it, a Torx head on the other side. Down here in this bag, we have the security screws for the battery cover on the bottom, and then we have the camera itself. Now the camera, you can see, comes on a stand, which can be a stand or it's used for mounting. So there's not a whole lot that's going to be coming in this box here. All right, the first thing that you're going to want to do when you open this guy up is you're going to want to charge the battery. So we are going to plug this guy in right here, and to charge the battery, you are just going to plug it in here. You're going to see the light indicators. We've got amber means it's charging, green means it's getting power, and once the amber goes out and it's solid green, then you know your battery is fully charged. Now keep in mind the battery does take quite a while to charge up. I just let mine charge overnight and it was good the next morning. All right, setting up the camera is super easy. All you're gonna do is you are going to pop off the base of your camera, slide the battery in there. See a blue light right here that is gonna start flashing. And then what we're gonna do is just load up the app. You're just gonna follow the on-screen instructions.
Your stick-up cam is ready to use. With Ring, you're always home.
All right, so let's take a look at the app itself. We're gonna load up the Ring app here. We can see the camera that I have installed. So this is, as of a minute ago, this is the front of the house, looking down at the front door. Ring now has a new interface when you click per camera. So we're gonna click on that right here, and we can see that we've got this timeline. That's really cool. So let's jump to a day here, whoops, that we had some activity. It's gonna load up a previous day, and then I can just scroll through it. I'm just using my finger, scrolling through it, and I can see all the activity of everything that's going on that night. So I can essentially fast forward through something or slow down on something if I wanted to. I can hit the star button or the trash button or do all that kind of cool stuff with that. I can also hit live view here. So if we hit live view, it's gonna jump to what it's seeing at the front door right now. If I wanna get to all of the settings, up in the top right corner is the gear. So we're gonna click on the gear, and here we can look at all the settings for that camera. Now this is where you're going to see battery life. If we go through the different buttons below, we can hit the events, and this is going to allow us to look through the events, filter through different events and stuff that's happening there. So that is event history. You can check device health, linked charms. I don't have any linked charms, and those are the little devices where you can link it to little sound boxes that you can just plug in around your house. So if you want it to send a chime, I mean, that's mostly going to be used for the Ring doorbell, but you can also attach them to this camera here. Motion settings. Here you can go in and set your motion zones, frequency, how often it's coming up. So in here you can schedule when you want to get alerts. So say I only want to get alerts when I'm not in the house. So if I'm at work, maybe at the middle of the night, those are the times that I want to get alerts. When I'm home and I'm active, say maybe on the weekends, don't send me alerts. App alert tones. So you can go in here and pick a chime that you want to happen on your phone. So if there is motion detected, you can have different chimes happening on your phone in addition to the text that you're also getting. But the app's pretty straightforward. You're not going to spend much time in settings. Mostly you'll just be working in the timeline here that you see. All right, so let's talk about the 3 different mounting options. So the first mounting option that we have here is the tabletop. So this is essentially having the camera just sit on the stand. The stand is a nice sturdy stand for you to put this thing anywhere you want to. Now this is obviously going to be the least secure. You're not mounting it to anything. So if you do stick it anywhere, you're kind of more relying on the ability to hide it as opposed to mounting it securely to a wall or to a ceiling. All right, so I want to show you guys how easy this thing is to install. First, I'll show you the vertical mounting. Now, I didn't want to put holes in my wall, so I did this outside on a back fence. So let's jump to that footage right now. Okay, so I wanted to show you guys how to mount this to a wall, whether it's going to be indoors or outdoors. We're here at my back gate, and there's something that you are going to want to change with this. So to flip this around, since I don't want this rubber to be on the wrong side, what we're going to do is we're going to pop this cover off here. You can set that up there, and I'm going to want to move the rubber to the other side. So what we're just going to do is just peel it off. It's got molding on it, so you can only put it one way, but we're just going to put it to the other side here. Flip it around. Okay, we're going to push it in there. So that way, when we mount it to the fence like this, the rubber is going to be in between and not scratch anything up or ruin the device here. So mounting this to a vertical wall is really easy to do. What I did is I drilled a pilot hole right in the top center, put in the first screw, which allowed me to keep the camera in place. I leveled it out using the bubble level, and then I drove the other 2 screws in. From there, you just pop on the cover. I flipped the screwdriver around to give me the Torx bit, put in that security screw, and I was done. I can then bend the camera up, put it into position, turn it left or right, any way I want to do it. The camera was really easy to set up. Now the next install that I have here is I'm actually going to be putting it in the spot that it will be staying above the front door. For this one, it's a little trickier because you're trying to hold the camera in place and get all the screws tightened at the same time. So this one was a little bit more difficult, especially with the eaves for myself being at an angle. But what I did is I held the camera base up where I wanted it to be. I actually took a pencil and I marked out the holes that I needed to pre-drill. I wanted to pre-drill those to make those a little easier for myself. Pre-drilled those guys, stuck the camera up over the holes, and then I was able to just easily screw all of those in. From there, you're gonna do the same thing. You're gonna put the cover back on, use that security screw to lock it up. So that one was easy too. All right, now let's talk about the experience of the camera. I was very impressed with the quality of the picture. It was, the picture is very vibrant. I felt like 115-degree view was perfect for me. I was able to get everything I needed in there and not have the picture look stretched or pulled in any way. One thing that I wasn't that impressed with was the sound quality of it. But in its defense, my camera is up high. I mean, this has a 2-way communication like the Ring Video Doorbell. So instead of something that's right in front of the person who is pushing the doorbell where you can talk to somebody, it is now 5-6 feet above their head. So I guess it's a nice feature to have. You can talk back and forth with the person, but in reality, for the way that I had it positioned, it wasn't that great. When standing at the door, it was hard to hear what the person was saying from the camera, and vice versa. I had a hard time hearing somebody at the door without them speaking up and talking louder. So that's a feature that I feel is a little more gimmicky than actually useful. Now the next thing that I noticed, and I know that I'm a special case because I am putting my camera everywhere, I'm moving locations, I'm utilizing this a lot more than probably most of you are going to, where you're just gonna put it up and just be done. But because of making this video, I have this thing everywhere. I'm twisting it, I'm putting it to all extremes as far as angles and turning it. And doing that, I noticed that when I would try to rotate it again, it seemed to get loose and I wasn't able to get it in a precise location that I wanted it to. I was starting to get pretty frustrated with it. I then discovered that it does have screws on the back of the mount where you're adjusting it, and also on the sides that for me just needed to be tightened up. Now, once I tightened them too tight, the camera wasn't able to move at all. So you kind of had to find that sweet spot to lock in that ball joint to be able to get the camera where you wanted to, and then I finally tightened it all the way down to just lock that guy into place. So if you're having trouble fine-tuning your mount, just know that you can loosen and tighten the screws to really get the angle that you want to. So one important thing to note about the Ring system and this camera, and this is something that I talked about in the video doorbell video that I did, and that is that essentially these cameras require a subscription. Now, nowhere on the box does it say this. If you're at a Costco, because I know Costco's having some great deals right now, and you're like, you know, this may be something I want to, and you take a look at the box and you see, okay, everything looks fine. There's nothing on here that says, oh, you also need to pay a subscription on this. I found that they actually do mention it, but on the back of the box here, it calls it a Ring Protection Plan. Now, for me, I thought that that was some kind of warranty, some kind of protection warranty, something along those lines. That is actually what they call their subscription plan. So on the back of the box, it says it comes with 30 days of free protection plan. Now, the subscription isn't too much. It's $3 a month per device, or it is $30 a year per device. Now, I think that when you get up to a certain point, you can pay a flat $10, and that covers up to a certain amount of cameras. So if you do have a Ring video doorbell and a couple of cameras, you can just get a bundle subscription that'll just be $10 a month, or I think it's $100 a year. So that is an option. Now, I don't think they advertise the subscription is required, because essentially if you choose not to do the subscription, you can look at your camera's live feed. So you can open up the app, load up your camera, watch a live feed from your camera, and you still do get push notifications. So if there is something that happens and triggers and says something's going on at your door, open up that app, hit the live feed, you can see what's going on at your door. The problem is you don't know what happened before that. And also there's nothing being recorded to the cloud because you have no subscription. So there's also nothing you can go back later and view. There's nothing to download. You can only look at the live view if you do not have the subscription. So is this subscription required? No, you can still use the camera. You can still look at the live view. If you want any of the features that make this thing worth having, you need the subscription. Now, that's something I wish Ring was a little more transparent about, whether it be on their commercials or the box. I mean, just let me know. If I know going into it that there is some kind of subscription fee, I'm fine with that. $30 a year, $3 a month, that's not that expensive, especially when you're comparing it to a professional system like ADT, something along those lines. This is obviously going to be a much cheaper option. I just didn't like how there's nothing mentioned about it on the box. Now, if you search online, you know, there's probably lots out there that says, oh, you also are going to need this, but I wish that it was at least mentioned in the advertisement. Overall, I really like this camera. The picture quality is good. The field of view is perfect for my use. The camera is battery powered, which is exactly what I want. I love the versatility of the mount. There's not a lot of extra accessories, extra power cables, extra batteries. I mean, I guess you can buy extra batteries if you want to, but you don't need all of that. Essentially, you can buy the camera, pay for your subscription, put it up there, and you're done. Now, I'd say this is a good buy. I would recommend it, and I would say you guys would probably enjoy it too. So let me ask you guys, what do you think of this system? From the examples that I gave and the stuff that I went over, is this something that you would consider buying? How do you think it compares to its direct competitor, Arlo? Well, I hope you guys liked the video and were able to get something out of it. If so, give it a thumbs up. Let me know that you liked it. For more content like this, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.